So congratulations on this book. I've been captivated by it since I started reading it. I'm still not completely done, but I've gained so much from this.
Oh, good.
It's more than just a book about dating or dogs. It's about the relationships around you. What inspired you to start writing this?
Well, I after my last disastrous breakup, I realized I just don't have a good picker when it comes to men. I just keep doing the same thing over and over, and I've tried, therapy. I've tried all sorts of ways to change that bad habit. But and then I thought, well, perhaps other people have the same thing. And, for the longest time, I felt like a total loser because I wasn't married. All my friends were married with kids. And I just decided to write the book. And I've met so many people that have the same problem, the same issues, feel the same way. And it's been a real healing process for me.
Yeah, it must be very therapeutic. I mean, you talk about your definition of what a bad boy is, and I think that's very universal. I think we all kind of are attracted to those same type of people. How difficult is it to get to yourself to that vulnerability to be able to just like unleash everything that's inside of you?
Well, I'm 63 now, so it was very difficult. And there were several versions of the book. It started off as just a fun, comparing the dating with the dog. And I had a writing coach that said, well, this doesn't really say anything. So I had to go in real deep and I had to admit a lot of stuff about myself and about my family and just about what makes me me. And I got to say that it was really hard. And I took a lot of naps writing it and I shed a lot of tears. But if you're going to do this, you got to do it. You've got to put yourself out there. It is it's a big step and it's a big risk to take. But I just felt like if my story helps one other person feel okay about their life and realize that there isn't just one way to have a successful, fulfilling life. You don't have to get married with kids. There's so many ways to have a nice life, and you don't have to live in the yearning or the, feeling like a loser because your life didn't take the same path that normal people take.
Yeah, and I guess you kind of come to realize throughout the book that just like relationships, different pets give you different emotions, give you, yeah, and there's differences between all of us. For you, at what point did you realize that, every pet would be a little bit different?
Well, after I lost my first dog that I got as an adult, Blondie, I wanted to find her again. My boyfriend at the time believed in reincarnation, and I put this in the book. I was looking at dogs, going, "Is that her?" Because I really wanted that same thing again, and I ended up rescuing a dog from the Lang Foundation, who I named Baldwin, and she was a blonde. Spitz dog, so she had the ears that went up, and he was like a floppy mop of a dog, and he was black with curly hair. Couldn't look any different. She was a girl, he was a boy, and he opened up a whole world of dog sports to me. And so that's when I realized, and people ask me all the time, which dog is your heart dog? And, they really all are for me because they all come in at a certain time and they give me just exactly what I need at that time in my life that I don't know, but they do. So that's when I realized that you don't need to live your life trying to recreate the past, and that's what dogs teach you, to live in the moment. To experience a moment and appreciate the moment.
Uh, Throughout the last couple of years, I've noticed that there's a lot of movies that are now based on the way dogs interact with humans and what they bring out in people. What do you feel when you see a movie like what was the most recent one, A Dog's Way Home and stuff like
Oh yeah,
that?
most of them I really love, but there's some that I feel like they didn't really capture what a dog would do. And, you know, that's just my opinion. But for me, and each, like you said, each dog is different. So, but I really do love the fact that people are embracing dog love more. I mean, it's like I had to come out of the closet when I was younger and wanted to be with my dog and loved my dog. I mean, my family would tell me how weird I was, and that was the reason I wasn't meeting any guy. And I'm like, well, if I was with a man, he'd have to love dogs because that's me. So I love the fact that people are putting more emphasis on dog and dog love and accepting the unconditional love that dogs give you. I think it's really important, especially today.
Completely agree with that. As you were writing this book, was there ever any obstacle within yourself to be as vulnerable as you have been with this? It seems like there was so many emotions that are clearly stated in this book that are kind of tough for people to deal with when it comes to themselves.
Every every page was I struggled. You know, they say in writing the most important thing is to put your butt in the chair and write. And there were many days where I would just sit there with the blank page in front of me, just, oh, I have to write this. I don't want to write this. I don't want it, because it would take me back to the actual experience. Like when I wrote about losing Blondie, that was really rough. So, but again, I thought if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do it half-ass and just, you know, put a pretty bow on it. It's going to be warts and all. It's just, and it really was a healing process for me. And I've heard, you know, I hear from people all the time of how it's helped them. So I'm really glad I put my vulnerability in there.
Uh, as somebody who writes a lot, what I publish out there is maybe 1/10 of what I actually write. How much do you write that you haven't put out there that you might maybe at some point create another book?
I'm actually in the process of writing another book. It takes place over 3 years. I mean, the book, I'm not single. It takes place over, you know, the lifespan of a dog. So it's many years. And then what I did with the next book is I'm focusing in on the years that I gave up my fancy travel public relations job and moved in to take care of my dad. So I'm once again battling with myself. But I think that's part of the process. And tell me if you get this too, because I guess that the ideas are going around in your brain. And then when you finally do start writing, it just flows. And you're like, wow, that was easy. But, well, not easy, but, you know, it just comes out of you. But just getting that start for each chapter can be daunting.
Definitely. And yeah, definitely happens to me where there's days where it's a struggle to put something on a page, and then there's days where, you know, you go for 100 pages and you think you keep on going forever.
And that's what hooks us, right? That feeling that like time just goes by and you are immersed in this thing. It's nothing is better than that. I just got chills saying that because I just love that feeling of just really, really getting into what I'm writing.
And when it comes to this book, what message do you hope people really get out of this and you know embrace?
I hope people embrace the fact that there's so many ways to have a successful and fulfilling life. And I hope those that have bad pickers don't live their life yearning and, you know, what's wrong with me, you know, that you just live the glass half full instead of half empty and look at the things you do have in your life. And that's when I turned to look at the dog love that I had in my life. And I'm telling you, it's just made a world of difference to me. And I love my life. You know, I have 2 Australian Shepherds right now, and, you know, they keep me very busy. And I meet a lot of really cool people through them. Most of my friends have dogs or are dog lovers. Last night we did an agility class. It's just, it's a way of life for me. And I'm not saying, you know, you have to have dogs, but there's so many, you get involved in something that you're interested in. And, you know, that's the best life to lead than, you know, living for another person.
Definitely. And where can people find you on social media if they want to continue with your
Well,
journey?
the good news is they can win a book. I'm doing a giveaway right now for autographed copies at Susan Hartzler Author on Instagram. And my last name is spelled Hartzler.
Mhm.
And all you have to do is sign up to follow me and send the link to 3 friends telling me why you love your dog. And you're signed up for a weekly book giveaway.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. This book is incredible, and I know I will definitely be recommending it to a lot of people who I know are in a similar situation.
You know what I love? And before I wrote it, or before it was finished, and I had it, and I'd meet men, I love it that it's not a female thing, it's a universal thing. Because men, they're also attracted to the bad girl. So it's,
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, I definitely think the more personal we write, the more it seems universal because everybody goes through these situations, whether it's one way or another, they can connect to it.
yeah. Well,
So,
thank you so much. I really enjoyed this interview.
no problem. Thank you, and I hope I get to see your next book soon.
You will. I'll let you know.